Welcome to the Consulting Leaders Podcast, where we talk about the business of consulting. Whether you're looking to grow your practice or learn from the stories of leaders in consulting, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Guillaume Jouvencel, ex-PwC and co-founder of GHA Marketing. Join me as I interview the best consultants in their niche. Let's get on with the show. I mean, it's not every day that I get to talk to someone who's been doing the same thing for the last 3 decades, in that TikTok economy. So, what initially pulled you into the world of CEO coaching back into the mid 90s, basically when I was born?
Yep. Yes. Well, it's interesting. I was in the advertising industry, and I noticed that a lot of our clients would spend a bunch of money on advertising, and then they wouldn't take very good care of those clients, so they'd have to buy more, which was great for me in the advertising business. It drove our business. But my initial thinking is there's got to be a better way. Like this is silly. Like why would you not just take better care of your customers and have them stay and build your business for you? And so I started doing some marketing consulting. And that kind of got me going initially. I started working with entrepreneurs on their marketing piece. They also found that marketing ideas are easy. Getting people to do the work is hard, which led me into this thing called coaching, where you partner with people to follow through and get the results, which is something that was happening a lot way back in the mid 90s.
This. Um, if you have a good business, you shouldn't have to spend any dollar in advertising ever. Kidding, you might want to scale, you might want to, the
Sure.
advertising budget is justified. But that's an interesting perspective. So tell us, what problem do you solve for those CEOs now, Kevin?
Well, most of the CEOs that we work with, I just got off a call with a duo team building a company, is that as they're growing, it becomes very complex and stressful, and they don't always know that they're going to make the right choices. So basically, my team, we partner with people as their partner in growth. So we sit beside them almost like a co-pilot sitting beside a pilot in the plane. We sit beside them as they're growing and help them see what they can't see, help them make better choices, help them make tough choices, and just increase their chances of getting to whatever their version of the next level is.
What's a tough choice you have to help them with the most?
Letting people go.
Interesting. That was very
Always the hardest
straightforward.
choice. Hardest choice. But most entrepreneurs are loyal to people. That's why they're successful. They build loyal teams. But as you get bigger, not everybody makes the cut. And there's people that shouldn't have been hired in the first place, mistakes. Then there's people who bonk along the way. And then there's people who just can't perform at the larger version of the company. And yeah, performance managing, which half the time people can step up, but the other half they can't. And making those tough calls, it is the single hardest part of this business. The business is pretty straightforward, but the people part is the hardest part, mostly emotionally.
Still, we just have to hire AI agents that can replace all of that.
Yeah.
That's ever happening. Okay, I love this. This is the problem you help solving and help people make hard choices, straightforward, clear messaging. Who do you help? CEOs. I get it. But like, is there a particular niche, a particular
Yeah,
industry, a
mid-market,
particular
mid-market CEOs generally. I mean, it was low as say 20-ish million, but our core clients are between 50 and 500 million with notable ambitions to keep growing. That's our core customer. Basically, they're at the size where they're running the business through a leadership team, right? They've got 3, 4, 5 leaders or executives they work through. They've got a good business, but they want to be great and they want to keep growing. And industry is irrelevant. The dynamics are all quite similar, but usually it's still family or entrepreneur owned or private equity backed, sometimes public. But usually the founder is still involved and it still has that entrepreneurial spirit.
why? So you've coached leaders for more than 275 companies across 18 countries. Why that focus on the mid-market companies? Is it because those are the ones that get the best
I'm not
results
a
for
corporate
you?
guy. I'm not a corporate guy. I don't do well with bureaucracy. I hate bureaucracy.
Could be smaller
I
companies though.
what?
Could be smaller companies as well.
Yeah,
Could be
I'm a
SMB.
fit. I'm like our I am that's it's a great thing. I like it once they've already got things going. Like I like to go from a good to great. The smaller ones are interesting. It's not my operating. We're more about scaling. Once you've got product market fit and things are working, that's kind of naturally where I think we add the most value. But the startup is a whole different space that just it's never really been part of our ecosystem in the way we work. But not that it couldn't be, but that's just seems to be where we've landed.
Yes, that's going to be a bit of a silly question for you, because that
Perfect.
sounds straightforward,
Perfect.
but I'm still curious. Who's the decision maker in your case? Is it the actual CEO
Yes.
or okay? So PE backed, are they going to be taking part of the decision as well, or it's all
Who's
CEO?
who? Sorry.
When you mentioned you help family slash entrepreneurs own
Yep.
company
Yep.
or PE backed,
Yep.
private equity backed. In that case, are they involved in the decision making process? It's always going to be the CEO, anyways.
It depends. Like we have some PE firms that we work with, and they would recommend us or our
Interesting.
operating system. But generally, the best investment partners, private equity firms, they often want the CEO to make their own choice because the person needs to partner with the CEO. So ultimately, it's almost always down to the CEO, even if it's introduced by the board or the private equity firm. Because if there's not a good fit with the CEO or the CEO is an unwilling participant, it's not going to go very well.
Makes sense. So in your case, you're targeting the person you're going to work with. So pretty straightforward. So you've built it for 30 years. So I'm very curious to understand how have you thought about marketing throughout all those years? And on top of that, your ex advertising. So how do people get aware of you and enter into your ecosystem? What has
Mm-hmm.
worked for you in terms of marketing and branding?
Mm-hmm. Look, we just redid our website to make sure it's good. I've written a whole bunch of books, which you can see behind me, and with the books, I'm speaking in front of CEO audiences, and we do a newsletter and a blog every week. All that stuff is just sort of basic keeping out there, but the root of it, what we found is our clients build it for us. We have something that we track internally called earned growth rate, which is the growth rate that your clients create for you, which is not about spend on marketing or sales. So we're a referral business. Our phone rings every week with CEOs referring other CEOs saying, "Hey, you should work with Lawrence and Co because they do a great job. They've done a great job for me. Look at my track record and my success." So um, we're obsessed with doing great work and making sure our clients get the growth that they want. And we're not perfect at it, but we're always trying to get better and better at ensuring that they grow and grow both the business and themselves as leaders. So then and then as a result, they're thrilled and they tell more people. They stay and then they tell their friends.
So
I'm sorry, it's not. I mean, for a lot of people, I know that's a bit of a dream scenario, and especially when you're getting going. But that's we got 30 years of working on it. So
So this is gold. This is gold, Kevin. I'm just thinking carefully of how I want to ask you this question because what I like on this podcast is a bit of a banter as well, and like a bit of
mm-hmm.
a back and forth.
Of
I
course,
mean, if you're in business, the same business for the last 30 years, you're probably doing something right.
yeah,
Um, I'm of the school of thoughts, if we can put it like this, that I don't like to rely only on referrals. For me, that's baseline. You're a B2B coach or consultant, you must have referrals.
sure,
Otherwise, that means you're not doing a good job and people don't refer you.
yep,
So you want to have that first layer of growth coming from word of mouth, people recommending you, delivering a good job. And then when you want to scale, this is where you want to introduce another acquisition channel, potentially a couple others. In your case, you have the books. This is a brand awareness move, and this is not a
yes,
referral.
yes.
So you've done this for 30 years. What are you putting in place on top of delivering great work? What are you putting in place, maybe internally, externally with your clients to boost that referral system? Because it is an acquisition channel in and of itself. But do you have incentives? Do you have like reminders? Do you have call to actions, triggers for people to refer your business?
No. Um,
Good. Next
yeah,
question.
yeah. But the books are a way to bring new value to the people that we have relationships with, and to get out
Nurturing.
there and speak with new people because I like to do it to start with, And it generates, like, I'm sure this new book, the one that I just put out this month, The Four Forces of Growth, it will
Mhm.
probably quadruple our firm. The book will quadruple our firm because it's a different message to get in front of more CEOs. And our CEOs will refer us to those CEOs or to their CEO groups or their industry conferences. Um, so yes, the books are a big piece. Writing books is very challenging for me. It is not easy. It is not fun. It's really hard, but that's, I like the challenge. But that absolutely opens it up with the existing relationships, and it opens us up into new relationships. Like, I've got one I'm doing in India coming up, and going doing one in Mexico City. I've got one in Australia. Like, there's all these. I'll do 100 talks on this new book, and it'll open up a lot of new doors. And it's for me and my style. It's fun. I like it. Some people don't. They might do it through social media or something else, but that's just, I mean, we do some social media, but I don't get as excited about it. I like doing this. I love doing podcasts and talking to other people. That's fun for me.
So I love this. There are so many things I want to double down on here.
Great.
First of all, writing a book is hard. I would not fully agree. I would say writing a book is easy. Writing a good book is hard.
Yes. Yes.
And that's probably the
Yes.
nuance. And
Yeah,
then
that is very true.
advertising this book, properly communicating on it, but then letting it grow on itself if it's good. Back to the good work, right? This is what makes a good book
Yes.
for me.
Yes.
So books, speaking, great work. This is what drives people reaching out to you, and that does make
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
So you create that awareness with all the branding, all the books, going on other people's podcasts. Hey, welcome to Consulting Leaders Podcast. How do you move from initial awareness, people found out about you, people start engaging with you, to, hey guys, let's rock and roll, let's start working together. Like, I'm your guy, SOW, letter of engagement, let's rock and roll. What does the sales motion look like for you?
Um, it's pretty. I don't know. It's not. It's, I don't know. Pretty straightforward. We just talk to them. What's your challenge? What do you want? What do you need? Um, we just dig in and understand their situation. Patrick Lencioni wrote this great book called Getting Naked, and it's just getting in there,
I want to read that.
understanding. It's great. It's a great book, but it's just understanding what they need and saying, okay, I think we can help you, and we co-create a solution and put it on paper.
Mm.
Like,
Okay, let me ask you this differently then,
yep,
because that does make sense, right? Especially if it's inbound, it's all referral.
yes,
People already
yes,
know you.
yes,
And then it's just about uncovering their specific pain points,
yes,
needs, see if we can match that with the solution, and
yes.
rock and rolling. Let me put it a different way. This is improv, guys. Enjoy. CEOs are hyper solicited. Everybody wants a hold of a CEO because
Yep,
they are the decision makers. They hold the purchasing power. They are the ones who are going to say yes or no to any project that the company is going to be
yep.
involved in. And even when they say yes to something, then it's about getting them committed to invest the time that is required to get the result from your program. So past that initial barrier of like, okay, you have a need, I have a solution, let's, get naked. How do you make sure that they make the time for it, that they prioritize this, and that they are not getting solicited by competitors, but also you're competing with anything that can get a hold of the CEO's attention, basically. So how do you include that into the sales cycle to make sure that they understand that, they have the full buy-in, and then they are committed to work with you?
I'm probably not the best person to ask about that because when they call
Interesting.
us, they're already bought in. They already want it. Somehow they already have a pain, um, and they're seeing us as the solution already. And they are always engaged. They're in the middle of all the work we do, whether we coach them one on one, the CEO,
Yeah.
or whether we're driving the growth strategy. Like, they are in the room for the sessions, they are in the prep meetings for the sessions because it's helping them to do their job. So in our work, they're in the middle of the work. This is not implementing an ERP that gets delegated to the CFO, right? This is them. Like, and with ERP, they only get involved when it goes sideways. But this is helping them to do their job. So they're in our case, they're in it. They're part of this creation, part of the solution, part of the iteration to make it better every time.
That makes sense to me. How long is a typical CEO coaching? Like, how long do they work with you? Do you work with them typically?
It's either 2 years or 10 or 15 years.
I love this. Like, who can answer this? Um, except for someone who's in business for 30 years. So, but then that's the perfect segue to my next question. One of the things I learned when I was a consultant at PwC, that was from my partner actually. So he was like, he pulled me away, anyways,
Yep.
aside,
Yeah. Aside.
and he was like, Guillaume, there are two types of consultants. There are the hunters and there are the farmers. And he was like, I'm a hunter. I love the smell of fresh blood in the morning. I love to go after new business.
Yeah.
That's my jam. And I was like, but the partners bringing in the most money, the partners doing the best and growing the fastest are, surprise, surprise, the farmers, the ones
Farmers.
who are able to exactly take that initial engagement, over deliver, obsess about service and product like you seem to be, and transform this into a multi-layered, multi-year project involving all the teams from PwC and bringing everything together. Those are the ones who rock and roll. And I was like, interesting. I think I did a bit more the hunter side of things, but I
Yep.
get it. You only have one CEO. So once you've delivered with that CEO, how do you keep them engaged? How do you keep on delivering value? How do you keep on justifying, probably a high ticket investment up to 15 years? How do you retain clients, Kevin?
It goes back to, and I know it's going to sound overly simplistic, but doing great work and then always upping the bar. So I had dinner with one of our CEOs. We had a working session and a dinner earlier this week here in Vancouver, where I am in Canada. He came
Nice.
in, he was here for something. We met in person, which was nice because our clients are around the world. So one of the things we talked about is, and he's already wildly successful and he wants to keep on growing because he's having fun. But it's, we keep creating tension to, for them to get to the next level and next level. So for a lot of our clients, this is like a business is like a video game. Most of our clients are continue to be at the point they don't need to make more money, but they want to continue to build because they enjoy it and they like the challenge and the intrinsic reward from the work. And so we just keep creating tension for them to get to the next level. And it's equivalent to in sport. You can take any sport, and if you're a coach to an athlete and you're coaching them all the way up until they're at the top of the professional league. But that's like 10 or 15 different levels to get through. And so with us, like, I'm never satisfied. I always think that my clients can do more. They're never good enough. They're good people, but they need to be better. And they all have massive long-term goals that we're anchored to and marching to. So as long as we can keep creating positive tension and helping them to find their way to the next level, we're value creation for them. If we get to the point where we're not, and we're just like, well, it sounds like you're great, good enough, then we're not valuable. So it's like we're part of their growth ecosystem, I guess is the right, yeah.
Talk to me about that tension. How do you how do you keep that tension with your clients?
Goals. Right. So one of our clients just crossed $1 billion. They wanted to get to $1 billion
Jeez.
of assets. They just hit $1 billion. And so we're like, okay, great. What's next? And we've been working on it for a while. And so then they set their next goal, which is many billions of dollars. And again, it's not about the money. It's about building a machine and building an amazing enterprise that gives back to the community and is rewarding and all that stuff. But it's about, because at the end of the day, everybody wants stuff. Everybody wants to get, and most of our clients, their aspiration is having more impact after they make enough money. Which, after a while, again, the money's a scorecard. It's not really the reason why they do it.
This
But
is
it's, they want to get to this next level, and they need someone to partner with to help them get there. It's just being
I like
human.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, humans are never satisfied. Every
No.
time we reach a milestone, it's a moving target.
Yes.
Tell me, Kevin, who coaches the CEO coaches? The CEO
Uh,
coach, sorry.
Yeah. That's a great one. So there's a couple of things. I have a coach that I've worked with for years. I have two different ones,
Okay.
plus a couple of other advisors that I tap into regularly. Like, I have a lot of different people that I tap into to continue to be stretched. And in our team culture, we have monthly sessions in our firm where we come together. We learn together, all of our advisors, and then we come together and bring our most challenging cases on the strategy side and on the coaching side. And so we bring our most challenging situations and we constantly learn. I learn from my team every single day. So that is the culture that we have inside our firm. Always, again, creating the same tension that we do with our clients, we do it internally too.
So
Outside of my outside advisors.
I like it. How would you recommend? So I talk to many B2B coaches each and every week and consultants. How would you go about helping coaches find a coach?
So that's a great question. How do you find a coach? Find a coach. It's almost like how do you find a good coach? How do you find a good counselor? Right?
No.
You need to talk to a few of them. My belief is, so I have a chapter in my previous book, Your Oxygen Mask First, which is about scaling ourselves,
Good.
right? Growing ourselves as leaders, and there's a chapter in there called Quadruple Your IQ. And the whole intent of the chapter is calling what I call for finding amazing advisors, coaches, mentors, whatever. And the rule of thumb I have is you want to have what's called a 14x advisor. If we're going to summit Everest, we want a Sherpa or a guide who's done it 14 times before, not once. You don't want the first timer. You don't want to be someone's guinea pig, as we call it here. So, how do you find a coach or any advisor who has been there and done that? Who has been, has helped other coaches. If you're a coach, has helped other coaches get to the next level. So I've got, for example, I have a mentor who has helped to build substantial consulting firms. So I talk to this guy. His name's Richard. He's an awesome guy. I talk to him regularly. Every single time I want to figure out and unlock the next thing of building a great consulting firm, I call him, we have a conversation, or I go meet him down in the US and he helps me figure it out because he's done it many, many times. So that's the ideal. Like, a lot of people want to help. So many people want to help people. And I love that. But ideally, if you can, if you could spend $1,000 and find an amateur, and you can spend 2,000 and get a master. Go find someone who's mastered.
So, okay, too many things I want to double down on here. First of all, that's a shift I've made about 12 months ago. I'm not taking advice, not listening to the criticism of people who have not achieved
Done it. Yes.
what I want to achieve.
Yes.
I think a lot of people start to understand that this is important to get advice from, but yet they will, fall for the criticism of people who are literally not doing whatever that they are.
Yeah, not a chance.
To do. And I understand negativity bias. We always tend to focus on the negative things, but that's key. Help my mental health by many, many folds.
Yes.
The marginal saving that you're gonna get by spending $200 instead of $2,000 doesn't justify the exponential growth that you're gonna get by actually paying 10x the price.
Yeah, and you don't even have to pay 10x. A mediocre lawyer is $300 an hour. A great lawyer is $750 an hour. Right. And some of the specialty lawyers might be $1,000. The difference between 300 and 700 is just $300. Yeah. To go from advice that could hurt you to advice that could save you millions of dollars in headaches.
That's the whole business model of those lawyers. They're good.
Well, it is, but that's also that there's experience and wisdom. And too often, like you said, I've listened to people take advice from people who are amateurs. Like, one of my hobbies for years was racing cars. And when I wanted to learn how to drive a new race car faster, I'd hire the kid who raced successfully in that car and was, on the podium. I'm not asking my buddy. I'm asking the guy who wins in that car, and you learn more and faster.
I ask the guy who wins.
Yep.
Music to my ears.
But a lot of people miss that one, and then they get helpful advice, just not good advice. Yeah. Like, they get people who want to help, but not people who are masters.
Amen. Okay, a bit of a curveball for you then, Kevin, because I mean, I keep on mentioning it, but for me, that's so good. And it's so rare nowadays. You've been in the same business for 30 years. Where do you feel challenged today? Where do you feel stuck?
Mm-hmm. Well, all throughout my career, there's been different ceilings that I've hit, right? The current one is for me to learn how to build the firm without managing the firm. So building the firm now through other people. I have an amazing COO, Curtis. I have an amazing sort of
Curtis?
lead advisor, Dean, who was my first advisor 10 years ago. So tag teaming with them to continue to build this firm because the phone keeps ringing, but to build it so it's not dependent on me and getting other people to run it. That's like my personal next level of growth. I need to focus like I need to recruit three new advisors like now. It takes people a couple years to master the work in our system, but I need to master the recruiting and then building it and then having the others run it, which is not rocket science for people that have built larger consulting firms, but like we're 18 people, right? But soon before we know it, we'll be 28 and then 38 and then 48. So that's my next challenge is building it through others versus being just the engine myself.
I like it. It's a moving target, demonstrating
Yep.
it right now.
Yep.
So, so that's one. Looking ahead, like next 3 to 6 months, what are you enthusiastic about? What is it that you're looking forward to work on, to get to the next level? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
What is that for you?
Well, I'm looking forward to the next 3 or 4 advisors that join our team for
Yeah,
sure. That,
yeah.
which will
Since that's the
mean
bottleneck.
we'll get another, we'll add another 30 or 40 CEOs that we can help and partner with on their growth. I've got a number of our clients that are going to transact in the next maybe a year or so. We're going to have some very successful transactions in terms of selling their businesses, which is kind of fun. We have a lot that want to keep it forever, but which is also exciting, but it's cool when they sell because you get to see a crystallization of the value. Um, and then I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of speaking about my new book. And basically, when I get out and meet new people and hear about their challenges and their successes, and I love it. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot of presentations in person. Virtual ones are easy, but getting in person in front of people, like in Mexico City in a few months, and a few other places where I'll be around other great leaders. I love that.
Taking hands, kissing babies,
Yeah,
is what makes us thrive.
it
How
is.
so? Out of pure curiosity, and that's me being interested into the business of consulting and coaching.
Yep.
How many how many CEOs can one advisor coach at the same time?
Yeah, that's a great question. It depends. I mean, it depends on the model, right? Like if you're
Okay.
just coaching, you could probably, do 15 or 20. Most in our system, most of our advisors do the driving the growth strategy in the room with the CEO and our exec team, which they do, every quarter, setting the goals for the next 90 days based on the strategy, coming in the room, being accountable, measuring the progress, learning and iterating and updating the next run. Um, but those are clients that we're in person with for a couple of days a quarter. So, most people are doing a bunch of those. So maybe it's, 10 companies that you might do that with, and maybe you coach 10 CEOs or execs, whichever it happens to be. It depends on uh, how much work you do, what your model is, that type of stuff. But it, yeah.
That does make sense. I was
Yep.
genuinely curious. Kevin, this was an absolute masterclass. Thank you so much. If people want to find out more about you, what you guys do, where should they go?
Yeah. Just our website, Lawrence and Co. LawrenceAndCO.com. You can find us. We're based in Vancouver, Canada. We're always looking for companies that want help, and we're always looking for advisors that want to play this game with us. Like we love it. We got a real high strung, highly driven team of advisors who are obsessed with doing great work and getting better all the time. So yeah, if there's something we can help with, we love this. We love to help. That's why I'm here. I'd love to share what we know and help people because from what I'm concerned, ideally in life, when you are doing something that you would do for free because you love it, you're on the right track. And so I feel super grateful to do this work. And yeah.
Who was the comic who said this? The humorist? Oh my God, he's all over Instagram, and I forgot his name. He's going on podcasts as well. he answers this. There is one person in the audience asking like, hey, like what's the how to get rich? And he was like, do you like what you do? Yeah. For me, being rich is if you were having all the money in the world, but you wouldn't change a thing to your day, then you're rich.
Yes,
You're already there.
exactly.
That's so powerful. I found back
That's
there,
the
Domain.
win. Yep, I love it.
We'll put all the links in the description. Third book coming up. Kevin, what I can say for sure is that you've earned at least one connection on LinkedIn from this interview. Me, I just added you. Kevin, thank you so much
Awesome.
for coming on
Thank
Consulting
you.
Leader.
Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Consulting Leaders Podcast. We hope you learned valuable lessons on how to grow your practice and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time.